Adolf Hitler launches Operation Barbarossa. But my Führer, we are already in fight against 5 different superpowers. Don't you think it's the most stupidest and dumbest idea to invade the country, which is twice or maybe thrice our size? Over 3 million Axis soldiers storm into Soviet territory, confident in their inevitable victory. But we know what exactly happened. What if Hitler realized he was making mistakes in those crucial early months and made some changes in the plan? Could he have changed his tactics to win? And how does that compare to what actually happened? We are going to point out every mistake, and along with it, the solution. Biggest failures during Operation Barbarossa was logistics. German troops advanced hundreds of miles into Soviet territory, but their supply lines couldn't keep up. Trucks ran out of fuel, soldiers ran out of food, and broken railroads left entire divisions stranded. In reality, this logistical chaos slowed the German advance and gave the Soviets time to regroup. But what if Hitler had planned better? In this scenario, Hitler focuses on securing supply routes before advancing deeper into Soviet territory. Engineers are deployed to repair railways. Now, you may be thinking, what's wrong with railway lines? It should be fine, right? All right, so finally it's done. Now our hungry German soldiers will get some stuff, and they will kick in the ass of Soviets. Some sources say they will surrender tomorrow. Haha. Our victory is inevitable. And build at least usable roads, ensuring a steady flow of supplies. Troops remain well-fed and equipped, maintaining their strength for the offensive. Operation Barbarossa began on June 22, 1941, already late in the campaign season. The delay meant the Germans were caught by the Rasputitsa, the infamous Russian mud season, and then by the brutal winter. Entire divisions were immobilized, and frostbite claimed more soldiers than Soviet bullets. What if Hitler had delayed the invasion to late May or early June, avoiding the mud entirely? In this alternate scenario, the Wehrmacht advances rapidly during the dry summer months, capturing key Soviet cities like Smolensk and Moscow before the weather turns. But in reality, the late start and poor preparation for seasonal changes ground the German offensive to a halt, giving the Soviets time to counterattack. One of the most debated decisions of the campaign was Hitler's diversion of Army Group Center to capture Kiev. This detour delayed the march on Moscow by weeks. While the Germans encircled and captured hundreds of thousands of Soviet troops, the delay allowed Moscow's defenses to strengthen. Imagine if Hitler had resisted the temptation to capture Kiev and instead ordered a direct march on Moscow. In this alternate timeline, the German army reaches Moscow before reinforcements arrive, potentially toppling the Soviet government. But in reality, the diversion to Kiev split German resources, delayed the advance, and turned Moscow into an unbreakable fortress by the time they arrived. Let me explain what a flank actually is. Imagine this is you. You're attacking your neighboring country. You keep advancing deeper and deeper. But at some point, your enemy manages to break the connection between your forward troops and your main army by attacking from the sides. This is called a flank, and it's crucial to protect these positions and keep them strong. Because if you don't, you won't be going home anymore, son. So as German forces pushed deeper into Soviet territory, their flanks were left exposed to Soviet counterattacks. Entire divisions were encircled and destroyed, a mistake that would haunt the Germans later at Stalingrad. In our alternate scenario, Hitler orders fortified positions to be established along the flanks of the advancing forces. Mobile reserves are stationed to repel counterattacks, preventing Soviet encirclements. But in reality, the Germans ignored this crucial defensive measure, and the Soviets exploited their vulnerability time and time again. A combination of trenches, minefields, anti-tank ditches, and mobile counterattack forces would have slowed the Soviet advance, giving the Germans time to gather a larger army and produce equipment to support them. We're not going to discuss it much because I've already made a video on the Battle of Stalingrad and have talked about that damn winter in it. If you haven't watched it yet, go check it out after this one. The German army was completely unprepared for the Russian winter. Soldiers lacked proper winter clothing, vehicles froze, and fuel supplies ran out. The Soviets, on the other hand, were well equipped for the cold, giving them a massive advantage. What if Hitler had prepared his army for winter? In this alternate timeline, German soldiers are equipped with insulated uniforms, vehicles are modified for extreme cold, and supply depots are stocked with winter provisions. The Wehrmacht holds its positions through the winter and resumes the offensive in the spring. Instead, the Germans froze, starved, and lost momentum, while the Soviets launched devastating counteroffensives.